A very good morning from Nosheen Mukhtar. You're watching me live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and this is the seventh episode of the Business Shower. Welcome to the show. I'm sure you are having a great evening, and it's a wonderful weekend for you. You've just woken up and must have taken your breakfast by now. So today's episode is dedicated to the job seekers. It's very important for all job seekers to understand that these are different times. Now the jobs are available. People are looking for talent. People are looking for skilled professionals who can add value to their business. So there are more than expected chances for you to have a great job these days if you're able to have a great interview with your hiring manager or recruiter. So, keeping in view that many of you must be needing some interview tips and guidelines to help you succeed in job interviews, I have invited one of my wonderful friends to be with us today at the Business Shower. His name is Fabien Ghys, and I'm sure you are familiar with him because we've been together before as well. Hello, Fabien. How are you?
Notion, thank you so much for inviting me. Every time you contact me and you tell me, Fabian, I'd like to invite you, I'm always very happy. So since I'm with you today, I'm very well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. My dear friends, Fabien is one of the best guides on LinkedIn. He's been helping hundreds and hundreds of job seekers by now, and around 250 plus recommendations out there to his credit. His website, Excellence Resumes, is one of the best websites I have visited and have recommended to hundreds of my friends so far, because definitely there are too many free guides on Excellence Resumes that you can benefit from, and also there are many resource materials that will help you land into best jobs in Dubai or all over the world. So before we begin talking about jobs and interviews, I want you to drop in the comments where you are joining us from and how you are feeling today in this special morning when we have Fabien with us. And do share with us how your week has been, where you are at in your job search, how much of success you have achieved so far, what are your feelings, because definitely your feelings are very important for us, and we want to help you in your job search so that you feel better, you feel like an achiever, and you are the winner. So let's get going. Let's get some comments from your side and understand where you are at in your job search, how you're feeling about your job search so far. What was your success ratio? How many interviews were you able to get in the last week? So, Fabien, what do you think? What are some of the good ways of actually succeeding towards getting an interview pitched?
Yeah, it's a good question, Notion. And you see, I want people to know that I used to be a job seeker some time ago. It's been 5 years since I'm a business owner. But before that, I was a job seeker, and I went through a lot of things that job seekers are going through now. I went through sending my resume to hundreds of people and not getting a single interview. I had that before. I went through going for an interview where I had no idea about the interviewer, the company. I was feeling stressed. I had to accept also jobs that honestly, when I was signing the contract to work for the company, I was like, man, this is not the job I was dreaming of. I went through everything, and I mean, I've been looking for work since I'm 20 years old. And it's true that when I was around 23, 24, something happened in my life, and I got some coaching from some very talented people. And this is when I learned actually what I'm teaching today. I learned a lot of things about how to get more interviews, how to work on your personal branding, how to do better at the job interviews, how to negotiate your salary better as well. Because when you go to a job interview, let's face it, it's not about looking like the best candidate. But if you can as well start to set up your expectations regarding your salary and get your interviewer to say, okay, this guy is asking for a high salary, or he looks like he's a high performer, so he deserves a high salary, then it means you're already scoring points, Uh, so for me, I think job seekers nowadays, Nushin, are facing a lot of troubles because they want a job so bad that when
Mm.
they get the interview, they are feeling super
Mm.
stressed because maybe their life is being horrible for a few months. Maybe they have no salary at all.
Yeah.
Their wife,
Yeah.
their husband has no salary as well. They need the job so bad that when they go to the interview, wow, they feel like, man, I need like even almost my life depends on this job, and this is when
Yeah.
stress comes very very hard. So I'm
Yes.
not sure,
Very true.
I'm not sure if it sounds familiar to you guys who are listening to me now. For the ones who are lucky enough to be doing interviews now, I'm sure when you go for a job interview, you are very very stressed and you don't really know where to start to prepare. So I'm going to give you some tips today.
Yes, true. I still remember when I was new in Dubai and I had my very first job interview. I
Uh-huh.
was absolutely wrongly dressed for the interview. And at the end of the interview, the hiring manager told me, Madam, you are very excellent in all the answers, and I feel that you're the right candidate, but I think you're new to Dubai and you don't know the norm here. You're not supposed to wear a sleeveless dress to an interview. And I was like, all right. So, it happens when you are new to a country.
That's
You're
true.
not familiar with the culture. You've not networked with enough number of people. You have very limited knowledge of the place and the norms that are being practiced there. And then you don't have a mentor to guide you. So
Yes.
this kind of a mistake happens at that time. So what do you think, Fabian? Do we really need somebody who should mentor us in our job search? Do we need a guide to help us?
Well, when we talk about job interviews, Nushin, I tell you what I feel. I mean, I've had together with my team close to 5,000 people. We have served close to 5,000 paying clients, so like
Hmm.
literal clients. All
Okay.
the people who haven't paid for our services but used our resources, I didn't count them here. So 5,000 people. And I
Hmm.
noticed one thing, Lucien, is that all those people who think they know it all and they think that, oh, I'm a CEO, I'm a top executive, I don't need to be coached for interviews, I know everything. Man, you are absolutely wrong. The people who succeed the most are people who are very coachable, people who are following advice from experienced people, from experts. Those people who, when they learn about something, they learn from, like they are starting from scratch, being humble. Those are the ones who are going to succeed. So my message to you who's trying maybe today to get a job on your own, when you go for an interview, you try to train yourself on job interview without asking for any tips, without having a coach. I'm sorry to say that this is not the right method. There are a lot of people who are willing to share, to help, even some people for free. I mean, you have to get some help because if you try to learn everything on your own, you will end learning nothing from what you need to learn. Look, Notion, yesterday again, I had this lady. She's called Lane, Lane, Lane on LinkedIn. She contacted me. She's a
Hmm.
retired person. And I will give you guys an example of how generous people are. This lady,
Yeah.
she's holding a lot of top positions in the corporate world. And she did a lot of interviews. And she told me, Fabian, I know you had people find a job. If you want, I can give some free interview training to those people. I can simulate interviews with them. I can do a debrief. I don't charge anything. I'm retired now. I just want to help people. Look, it's amazing. You
It's
know,
amazing.
it's really amazing. So a lot of people are willing to help. If you don't have money, then it's okay. You can still have people who will help you. Uh,
Yeah.
but the best option is obviously when you get people to help you. Well, I think it's normal to pay it forward as well in a way. But if really
Yes.
you are broke, you have no money, don't use the "oh, I have no money" as an excuse not to get coaching. You can get coaching from people even for free if you want. Okay.
Yes,
So to reply
definitely.
the question, Lucien, obviously, job seekers need to go through coaching and using the help of experts for sure, for sure. Even more when
Yes.
it comes to interview, because interview training requires a lot of practice, and the problem is that you cannot consider your job interviews as just an exercise, because
Hmm.
every job can change your life. In fact, so every job interview is important. Yeah.
Definitely. So, do you have any recommendations for dressing up for a job interview, Fabian?
Yes, well, look, when I live in Singapore now, so Singapore is a very hot country. The weather is a tropical weather and all that. But I think in Singapore, people have quite a common sense of how to dress for an interview. When I was my last job in Singapore, I was in charge of hiring salespeople, and they were coming for interviews like dressed in a decent manner. However, before Singapore, I was living in Thailand, and when I was in Thailand, some people will come for interview wearing flip flops, wearing shorts, absolutely like for sales job as well. So this was wrong. So how to dress up for an interview is very simple. You should dress up for an interview wearing the kind of clothes you would wear if you get the job. That's it. So if you are going for a job interview for, let's say, I don't know, a marketing assistant, just like random job, I'm just saying like that. Well, then you're gonna go for the interview, and you have to think about how a marketing assistant working in the office would dress up, to go to work. It's very simple. If you don't know, then you just go on Google and find some tips on how to dress up. But obviously, you have to make some effort. And here I'm going to tell you something. People say sometimes, oh, is it necessary to go for an interview and wear a tie or wear a suit? Well, here is my reply. It's better to be overdressed than being underdressed. Always better. So if you are not sure, do a little bit. If you're not sure if it's too much, well, it's better too much than not enough. What definitely I will not recommend is very sexy attire for ladies, obviously. When it's too revealing, it's not good because the interviewer might not take you seriously. And then for men and ladies, don't overuse, all the accessories, jewelry, and all that. If you have tattoos, try to hide them. As you can see, as you know, Nushin, I'm sure I have tattoos myself. You can see it now, but I'm not at a job interview now. But if you are at a job interview, you want to make sure that that person will not judge you on things that are not. That wouldn't play in your favor. And unfortunately, tattoos, for example, if I have to go for a job interview today, for me, I will wear long sleeves for sure. I will not wear a t-shirt or a polo to go for a job interview. But yeah, you have to make some effort on the dressing, on the way you dress, for sure. Not too much perfume as well, because all those accessories are jewelry, perfume, too much makeup. Like, try to stay how can I say, basic on that. On all the fancy stuff, the accessories, you have to stay neutral.
Yes, staying neutral is the key actually, because we don't know the culture of the person who's sitting there, or the group of people who are sitting there to interview us. And by overdressing or by underdressing, we might be offending or presenting the wrong picture of ourselves as a professional. This is the reason it's very important for us to dress up appropriately for an interview. I believe that dressing up formally and professionally will help people in appearing as professionals during an interview. So, what kind of language should we use during an interview when we are talking to our hiring managers and answering them? What do you recommend, Fabian?
Well, for me, I would always recommend to stay formal. Don't be too friendly. I mean, you can be like, there's a difference between approachable and too friendly. When you are too friendly and you kind of break this barrier between the interviewer and the candidate yourself. then you might not be taken seriously. So try to be formal, but stay approachable. You have to smile. You have to look at people in the eyes. But in terms of like the verbal language, you need to stay formal for sure. Okay. Don't use like words or slangs that are a bit too you know too familiar. It doesn't work. You have to be formal, even if you are applying for a job. Obviously, if you are applying for a job as a waiter, we all know that a waiter and a top executive will not have the same language. So I'm not saying here that you need to use technical words or try to look over educated. This is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that always stay professional, and don't be just too casual is not good. A little bit approachable but professional, very important. So this is for the verbal language. But then what about the gesture? Because the gesture is about the language as well. So if you are a bit lost, and I know a lot of people, they go for interview, they will take their pen like that, they will say it like this, they reply, they don't know, they close the pen, they open the pen, they close the pen, they don't know, they drop the pen. Well, my advice to you regarding the gesture, just if you are not sure about where to put your hands, you just mimic what the interviewer is doing. You just kind of indicate a little bit. Don't copy. Don't be a mirror. But if you see the interviewer put his hand like that, then you do the same thing. If you really don't know, if you have your own style, like for me, I'm not Italian, because Italian people, they like to speak with their hands like that. But I like to, I use my hands quite a lot. So I'm very comfortable with the way I move and all that. If you don't know, I'm not experienced with that, you just kind of duplicate what the interviewer is doing. That's it.
Okay.
Then there's also, because you talked about the language, there's other types of language as well. There's also the way you look. So everything that's like, how can I say, our eyes communicate as well. It's kind of a language. So very important is always look up front. Don't look down when someone asks you a question. Even if you are not sure, you just don't, I don't know, give me a moment. You don't do that. You always stay straight. Look at the interviewer in the eyes.
Exactly.
It's very
even
important.
if you're fidgeting, even if somebody's fidgeting too much or looking away in a different direction, it shows that they're not confident enough or they're nervous.
Exactly. Or something else. Someone who don't look at people in the eyes, sometimes it's because that person maybe is not saying the truth. And as an interviewer, if you feel this way, it's not good, So even if you are really not sure, you are a bit intimidated by the interviewer and all that, try to always look in the eyes and with a smile on your face. Obviously, don't stick to the eyes just to stick to the eyes, but just relax, and that's it.
How should we prepare? Like, apart from dressing, thinking about choosing the right words and having the right body language, how should we prepare for a job interview? For instance, I received a call today. Tomorrow I have a job interview. So what are the things that I should do a night before to be ready for the interview tomorrow?
Sure. Look, if it's me, I'm looking for a job. I get a phone call today, and I'm in fact invited tomorrow for a job interview. Well, I will spend my whole day preparing my job interview. That's the first thing. So first of all, I will do research about the interviewer, not about the company, because maybe the interviewer is a recruiter, is not an employee of the company. So make sure you get the first name and the family name of the interviewer, and then you go on LinkedIn and see who is that person. On LinkedIn, you can find a lot of things. You can find about the personal interests. Like, for example, for me, I love to contribute to charity. So if one day I interview someone and that person tells me, "Oh, Mr. Fabien, I saw that you are involved into charity, you donate and all that. It's amazing." Well, I will feel okay. Okay, you did your job. I can see this interview for you is important because you did your research about me. Okay, that creates already a kind of, I will have respect for that person. I will say, okay, you did your research, I can see that. So do research about the interviewer. Then, if you know the company name, go on LinkedIn and try to find people from the company who have a job similar to the job you are applying for.
Okay.
If I'm applying for a marketing senior manager in marketing, for example, I will go, and if the company, I don't know, it's I don't know, Microsoft, I will go and see all the marketing manager who are working in Microsoft in Dubai, if I work in Dubai, for example. And I will see exactly how they position themselves, what is kind of their language and all that, on LinkedIn, try to see how you can adjust and what you can learn from their profile. Maybe you can see their past experience and all that. Then you do research about the company. It's very important. Do research about the company. Maybe the company is a 25-year-old company, very experienced, but it's been in Dubai only for 2 years. So if you are in Dubai, a 2-year company in Dubai, 2-year company is still a startup in Dubai. So even if it's from a very big company, but the company just started in this country, well, the approach will be a bit different. You know that everything probably has to be done in this company. So you can position yourself as the guy to go for when it comes to helping new companies grow new markets and all that, So that's something you have to do as well. Then number 4, you need to prepare yourself. So you need to get ready to receive all those interview questions that people hate. I will tell you what they are. Get ready to go for the interview for, okay, Mr. Fabien, how much salary are you expecting? If you are not ready, but come on, it's very funny, because people know that probably they will get this question, but they are not ready. They don't know. I always, I don't know, my last job, I was getting paid 1,500 USD. If you give me 1,007, it's okay. Then they will offer you 1,006. Then you have to accept. Okay. But if you are good at negotiating, maybe you can get 3,000 instead of 1,006 USD. So you need to prepare those questions. I'm going to give you a list of those questions. And in fact, Nushin, I train my clients on all those questions so they know exactly what to reply. Okay. How much salary do you expect? Why did you quit your last job? What is your strength? What is your biggest weakness? Tell me a situation where you feel like you failed in your last job. Tell me a situation that you feel proud in your last job. Why do you want to work for our company? All these questions.
This is the most important question, Fabien. Why do you want to work with our company?
They are very tricky, all those questions. And in fact, people asking you those questions, for example, why do you want to work in this company? The interviewer want to know if you actually can bring what they are expecting you to bring to their company.
Yeah, the value.
Yes, they want to know, okay, is this guy coming with the right intention, and are his intentions in line with what we are looking for? Why do you want to work with us? Well, if you say, oh, it's because I think you pay good money in your company, it's a big company, I heard the salary are good, man, you will not get the job. That's not what you have to say, you need to explain exactly, okay, I did some research about your company. I'll give an example, Nushin. If I apply for a startup in Dubai, a startup that's doing well. Okay, Mr. Thomas, thank you first of all for receiving me for the interview. I appreciate your time. So I will be very honest with you. I did a lot of research about your company yesterday as soon as you called me. And I noticed that your company has been growing very much over the past 2 years in Dubai. And you are getting noticed for being a company that respects employees, that are great, that has great ambitions for the Dubai market. A company also that is standing out clearly for the quality of your product. I myself use your pen. You see, I bought it last year. So it's an amazing pen. I know your product. I know I like your product. I know I like your company. I know your values are about excellence, community, and helping people grow internally. And this is the reason why I'm here today. So why I'm joining the company is because your values, your products, your strategy, I know it. I know them, I resonate with them, and I love them so much. This is why I want to join you.
Right. Great tips. Thank
You
you.
see,
You so good for
so
me.
you see, it's about I show the person I did my research, I know the product. Even if I haven't purchased their product, well, you can do some research online, and you need to give interviewers what they want to see. Um,
Yeah.
you need to give them what they want. It's very important that you as a I mean, when I say you, the machine is like people who are listening to us. You job seeker, obviously, you also want a good salary. You also want career opportunities.
Yeah.
But recruiters, what they want first is what you can bring, how you can help them. So if you can really help them, then they will give you what you want.
True. True.
Mm.
Fabien, a very common question that poses some challenge to the job seeker and is difficult to answer. And sometimes job seekers make a mistake there is when the recruiter is asking why you want to leave your current job or why you left your previous job. This is the most difficult question, I believe, because many job seekers end up saying a lot of negative things about their previous employer, and they get that's a negative projection of themselves, and they do not realize that by doing this they are putting themselves in a difficult situation.
Yes,
So what do you
yes.
say about this?
Okay, so it's a very good question. And Nushin, I want to tell you that, in fact,
Mm.
all the people most people who are getting my services, we give them a whole training on all those questions. And this question is actually a bit tricky. So my first tip is never ever talk negatively about your previous employer. Never. Always say, okay, Miss Nushin, it's a great question. And in fact, uh, I kind of expected this question. So my previous employer is really amazing. The company is great. Their products are fantastic. I used to get along with my colleagues and my boss very, very well, and I had the best time of my life. So you start this way. You just praise your previous employer. All the negative stuff, no need to tell it. Obviously, you don't lie, but you kind of praise your previous employer. And then you will say, however, Miss Nushin, after 3 years working there, a lot of times I felt that I was a bit stuck in my career because I had an MBA, and the way the company was directing all the strategy or the marketing did not really make me feel comfortable in terms of growth. And that, in fact, I can do a lot better, and I can use all my potential out of this company. So I liked my previous employer very much. I love what I did there. I just feel like now for me it's the right moment to move and to make full use of my skills. So I think your company, because I did some research yesterday, and I know your company especially is growing extremely well in the software industry, and this is exactly the industry I'm passionate about. So I think your company can really leverage on everything I've learned at my previous employer and help me become a better version of myself. That's why I'm here today.
Yes, I agree with you. Focusing on the present company and redirecting the question towards your own strengths without saying anything negative about your previous employer is a good
Yes,
way of handling this question.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's
Okay. What happens normally? The job seekers come up and they would say that I left my previous job because my employer did not keep their promises. And what do you have to say, Fabien, about such a situation? Do you think this is a good answer to this question?
Can you repeat the question? Because I had like 1 second of
Okay, the break.
wrong
So the
connection.
same question, when your current interviewer is asking why you left your previous job, and the job seeker answers it with a statement, I left my job because my previous employer did not keep their promises with me. Do you think
No,
this is
no,
a good response?
no, 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 no. No.
Mm.
No. The way to reply to this question is just what I said before. Is that why did I leave my previous job? Okay, Miss Nushin. First of all, I want you to know that I really loved my previous job. It's not easy for me because I get along with my colleagues, with my boss. I love the product. Like you praise your previous job. Like recruiter need to people who interview you, they need to understand that you are not quitting your job because it wasn't going well. No, you just tell them. You can say, okay. However, I feel like I can do much better in your industry because this is an industry I'm passionate about. Or however, I feel like it was time for me to move because after 3 years, really I wasn't learning anymore.
True.
Because you have to use the word I. Sorry, the word I. I wasn't learning. I feel like instead of because my employer didn't do that, or um, because my colleagues were not. I wasn't getting. My colleagues were not nice to me. That kind of thing. You don't use that because this shows that you are always putting the fault on others. It's not good. So first of all, you praise your previous job, you praise your ex-colleagues and all that, and you just explain that it's time for you to move on because this reason. So
Yes, I agree with you on that. Mullah Abdul Azim is saying something, Fabien.
Yeah. In my 5 years, I've cleared 10 to 20 interviews. It's very simple. We shouldn't be nervous and answer what they ask. Okay. It's true. Obviously, you shouldn't be nervous. But the thing is that as humans, we are all different. And some people will naturally get nervous. So one of the best tricks not to be too nervous is to study the company very well and get ready for all the trickiest questions you can get. So for that, you have no choice. You need to get trained. You need to train before you go for this interview. But it's true as well as you say, Mullah Abdul, that you need to reply interviewers' questions. Just tell them what they want to know. But there's a way to give it to them, so it sounds more convincing and it plays to your advantage as well.
How do we negotiate the salary, Fabien? How do we be on the winning side and getting the salary of our choice rather than the low packages offered to us? Yeah. How do we do that?
Okay, so first of all, depending on the country, the law and the regulations are different. I know that in some countries, unfortunately, interviewers and HR, they are allowed to ask you for your last pay slip, which is absolutely fair. It is not fair. Because you shouldn't be paid depending on what your previous job used to pay you, but you should be paid depending on the value you can bring to a company. So, but then when an interviewer asks you, okay, what salary are you expecting? Then you have to keep in mind that when a company offers you a salary, this is not the only thing you can negotiate. So what I will reply to this question, first of all, I would say, well, Ms. Nushin, I'm not too sure. Can you please tell me how you usually structure the compensation for your employees? Is there any bonus? Is there any healthcare support? How is the typical compensation for an employee with my role? They will tell you, okay, well, usually we pay senior marketing managers like you, we pay them a yearly bonus. We have also extra this, extra that. Then we can already negotiate a lot more. Because a lot of people, when they get this question about the salary, they only think about their monthly salary. But employers give you a lot more than that. Some of them will pay for your insurance, for your kids' school, for a car, the food. Everybody working in F&B here. If you work as a waiter and your food is free every day, it's already a big saving, right? Some people, depending on the job, they get a computer, they get a phone. Companies are willing to pay for their relocation, for the shipment of their personal stuff. There's many things to negotiate. It's not only the salary. So the problem with people is that, with the candidates, is that many times when they get this question, they think only about the monthly salary. And so you need to find out first how companies actually structure their compensation plan. How does it work?
Especially for the position. Especially for the position you are being interviewed for. So there could be additional benefits.
Yesterday, I was in a shopping mall here in Singapore, and they were this McDonald's. They are hiring, and I know McDonald's obviously they don't pay a high salary, but they were still
Mm.
putting like a big. There was a big sign. We are hiring salary plus insurance plus this plus that plus that. So even and it was for a waiter position. So you need to find out how the company structures its salary, because if you say, okay, the worst way to reply is, okay, Mr. Fabian, what salary are you expecting for this job as a waiter? Well,
Mm.
my previous job I was getting paid $1,200. So if you give me 1,250, it's okay. This is a big
Mm.
no. This is the worst way. You are giving yourself, like, that's it. That's it. You cannot do anything once you say that. You know
Seriously. We have a
the
question, Fabian.
Yeah,
A good one.
yeah,
Mohammed Idris Khan.
yeah. During the pandemic situation, employers are not negotiating the salary. Employers are not negotiating the salary. So I guess you mean that as a candidate you have no choice. But in fact, I will tell you once again, it is. I mean, it might be something you feel like it's true. But I've had people I helped, like, not, I mean, just last month, they got a
Mm.
job, and they are the one who put their own expectation about the salary. So the first thing, Mohammed Idris, I'm not too sure if I say it properly. The first thing you need to make sure, if you want to be able to negotiate your salary, make sure that your resume is extremely professional, that you look amazing, and you look like you are just the best candidate on your resume. It must be perfect. Your LinkedIn profile, same thing. So if those two things are already good, like not just decent but perfect, then you will be able to negotiate your salary a bit more. Because when they interview you, they already know, okay, this guy, look at his resume, he looks amazing, but it's okay. Maybe expensive, we will see. Then you need to use all the negotiating techniques to negotiate your salary. Because I can tell you one thing: companies, if they want you, if they really, really want you, you will always be able to negotiate something. So don't come with this mindset, oh, I can't negotiate anything because it's pandemic, because you can always negotiate something. Always, always, always. It's all about how you do it. Okay? So if they don't want to negotiate about their salary, then negotiate about, I don't know, annual leaves, insurance. There's so many things to negotiate. I can give you a list of 15 things to negotiate for a job. You can always get something extra. If they want you, they will give you something extra for sure. So remember, it's not only about the salary. What if they pay your transportation every day or your food every day? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's already worth some money? I think it is. Okay, so always come with an open mind, and yes, always try to negotiate something. But for that, you must make sure they want you. If they don't want you, you cannot negotiate anything. How to fetch abroad job opportunities in current pandemic scenarios. Also, please suggest us to know the good sites and links to apply for abroad job opportunities. So look, abroad job opportunities right now, I won't lie to you, it's a bit complicated because companies have a lot of restrictions. You can't really travel. Like, you can do only Skype interviews. You can still do it. I've had people get jobs in Singapore while they were overseas just this month again. But it's not as easy as it used to be. However, it's still possible. My best advice is right now focus on your local market. That's the best thing. And the good sites and links to apply for a job abroad. The first thing you need to do is to visit my website, because on our website, excellenceresumes.com, you will find a lot of tips. Also, we have another website which is called highflyercareersystem.com, where you can find, I don't know if you have it, this one, Nushin, the high flyer. It's called a highflyercareersystem.com. And there you can download a free guide that will help you prepare a resume that will get you more interviews. I'm not sure if you got it right, Nushin, how to write it. I
I'm
can maybe
trying to
write it
get.
for you.
Oh, yes, I found the website, and I'm going to share it now with you guys here in the comments and also here in the
Yeah.
banner so that
You
you
guys,
can easily visit the website. Here it is.
yeah, this one, yeah, exactly. So if you go there, you will be able to download a free guide to help you get more interviews and to adjust your resume in a way that it will land you interviews in all the English speaking countries. It's free of charge. Okay. For the site, the job boards, well, look, I can tell you names, I can tell you Job Street, Monster, but you guys all know them. The problem with those websites is that, number one, they are extremely crowded. A lot of people are there. So to me, the best one is LinkedIn. The best one in LinkedIn is to reach to decision makers on LinkedIn, to business owners. Make sure before you reach them, make sure you fine tune your profile, and then you will probably get some hints. If you are persistent and positive, you will end landing interviews for sure. For sure.
Yes. There is one more question through Facebook for us. The candidate is asking how to make possible a job interview. I'm applying at so many places, but I'm not receiving any interview calls.
This is just your resume. I mean, it's very simple. Yes, there's two reasons why people are not landing interviews. The first one, in fact, three reasons. The first one is that you are applying for jobs that are not relevant compared to your skills. So I understand that most people are intelligent and you will not apply for a job, for a CEO position if your previous experience is a waiter, right? So if you apply for jobs that are relevant to your experience, then it means that this first problem is not yours. If you apply for relevant jobs, then it means that your resume is just not right. Because if you apply for a job, it means that you saw a job. If you saw a job offer, it means the company needs someone like you. If you're applying, it's because you feel like you can apply. So why they are not calling you? It's because the way you position yourself on your resume is not right. And this is something I've been repeating for years now, like since I started in this business, 5 years. And even before I started in this business, because before that I was helping my friends get jobs. Most people apply for relevant jobs. So if they are not getting interviews, it's because their resume is not good enough. So this is once again, I will send you again to my website. Just go there, highflyercarrysystem.com or excellenceresumes.com. You go download all the resources you can, and you will get a lot of help there. Nashim, do you have questions related to interviews, like really interviews? Because most people, I mean, we always get questions about how to get interviews, but today I'm very interested in sharing insights about like interviews. You know, once you get there, you have the interview, you get interviewed. Is there any other questions showing now?
Like, sometimes we are asked from the hiring manager, what metrics do we use to track our progress on regular basis as employees in a position or in a company, or how do we adjust our approach towards work management? So how do we answer such a question in an interview?
Well, again, it's all about the preparation. So you should insert in your resume, first of all, metrics, a lot of metrics. So a lot of achievements, and quantify those achievements. So when you go for the interview, then the recruiter, he will just ask you questions about the metrics.
Oh, it got stuck. Let's wait for a few seconds for Fabien to get back to us. Yes, Fabien, your answer got stuck in the middle.
Okay, so what I was saying is very interesting, because if you go for an interview and the recruiter or the interviewer will ask you questions about, okay, can you give me a metric to evaluate how good you are in your last job, for example. If you cannot give any response, or you are hesitating, this is when it's a problem. Because recruiters will think you start to invent, or they will feel like you are not prepared.
We lost Fabien again. I think
So
there
when
is
you go,
something.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, now we
So
can hear you.
I was saying that the best way to avoid that kind of situation is to put those metrics in your resume. When you go for the interviewer already has the metrics he wants to know, he wants to see, he wants to know about. And then if he
Mm.
asks you a question about those metrics, you know those metrics because they are already in your resume. Interview,
Yes.
where you want at the interview, you want to avoid.
And Fabian, it's important for the interviewee to give the metrics which are related to the question asked. So they really need to keep all their statistics about their own performance relevant to their job description for which they are being interviewed with them, so that they are able to give the right metrics to the interviewer and actually persuade them towards accepting them as suitable candidates. Because mentioning the metrics, like you have said before, is all about the art of persuasion. Because through these metrics, they are trying to persuade the hiring manager that they are the right people. We have another question for you, Fabian. The candidate says, what are your suggestions on freshly graduated candidates?
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, fresh grads. Usually, fresh grads are people with no professional experience or just a little bit. So you need to dig into your studies and see if you have been in charge of any project, if you have received any award. So you need to find this information that will help you stand out on your resume. So most of the time for fresh grads, I will always I will always ask those questions. Have you been in charge of any project? What kind of activities did you have on top of your studies? Were you part of any association? Maybe you were the president of your cricket club, cricket association. Maybe you've organized some charities when you were a student. So you need to think about all that and put it in your resume, because when you're a student, you cannot stand out, or it's very hard to stand out with your professional experiences. You can stand out with other things: projects, awards, charities, training you did, and all that. So there is always a way to stand out. Remember, if you feel like a lot of people are like you looking for a job and you have a lot of competitors, then you need to ask yourself, okay, how can I stand out within my competitors? That's the thing. That's why you need to. To think about.
Yes, so a good way of doing that is personalizing your answers. They should not be the answers that you are perhaps reiterating from somewhere you've read them. They should be the answers coming from within you, according to your own experiences and whatever you have learned during perhaps your studies, because you're just a fresh graduate. So try to learn and observe other professionals as well, so that you are able to understand how do professionals present themselves during their first interview when they're
That's
being
true.
called. That's
Mm.
true. And then I'm sure that all of you, like I mean, the fresh grads are going for different internships during their university years, especially the last year. Your internships will definitely prepare you for your upcoming professional life, and you will have enough experience through your interaction in a professional environment where you will have stories of achievement that you can share during your first interview with your hiring manager.
Yeah.
So, we are waiting for you guys to share more questions with us related to job interviews. In the meantime, we will ask Fabian for his ebooks that are available on his website. So, how many different kinds of ebooks we can get from your website, Fabian?
Well, if for job seekers who are looking for free guidance, free ebooks, if you go to for people who go to excellenceresumes.com, you will for sure find from the very first page a free ebook to help you in your career, help you structure your job search and all that. So I recommend you get it. It's quite good, and it will help you find out more about what direction you should go. you should go for, regarding a job search. That's the first thing. And number two, in fact, if you go to my other website called highflyercareersystem.com, all you can do there is just to download my ebook. It's free. That's the only thing we can do there. So it's just download the ebook. It's free. So once you download it, after you will see a few more pages behind. So yeah, you can just get those two. Also, for people who go to excellenceresumes.com, there is a page called Career Tips, where you can find a lot of tips regarding LinkedIn, regarding your branding and all that. So you have to explore a little bit also there. Yes.
So Fabien, if somebody wants to have help with their LinkedIn, are you also helping them with updating the profile and using the right keywords for their profile so that they get hired for a position?
Yes. Exactly. So for people who go to either excellenceresumes.com or the highflyercareersystem.com, you will find information as well about LinkedIn. And yes, my team is ready to help you guys to write your whole LinkedIn profile, your resume if you want, no problem at all. But I think if you start with downloading our free resources, it's good. It's going to help you. Then if you want to go take a shortcut and get faster and better results.
It got stuck again. So yes, you can visit the websites as we have already discussed. Thank you, Fabien, for coming back. It gets stuck in the middle of your conversation.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I think my connection maybe is not very stable. I'm not too sure. It looks okay, but I don't know. Yeah, okay, so look, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure. And for all the job seekers who've been listening to me today, you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Fabien Ghys. You just go there and you can connect with me. You can connect now because unfortunately I maxed out the number of connections. But you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can ask me direct messages. I will be happy to reply to you. All the best, guys.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Fabien. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and we received so many wonderful tips and guidelines from you. And we look forward to having more interaction with you even in the future. Stay well and have a great Friday. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to us. And if you have more questions, you can directly connect with Fabien and follow him on LinkedIn. He will certainly guide you. And till the next episode of the Business Shower, have a good time. Take care. Bye.